Okay, so I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7:01, and this is it's March 6, 2023, and this is the Outreach Committee meeting for Monday, March 6, 2023. How coincidental. So anyway, so it's just going to jump right in on this. So roll call. If you're here, say so. Scott?
Here, present.
Julie? She's here. I see her. Ren, I see you. Ira?
Here.
There you are. Okay. And that is everyone. And I am here as well. So we have a quorum and we're all here. Announcements by the chair. I don't have anything other than what's on the agenda. So, and I promised we were going to keep to this. So we'll just move to number 3, which is announcements from the ad hoc election committee. And I'm wondering if we have Barry Johnson. Do we have Mr. Weiss with us or Rudy? No. So,
But Peter's here.
yeah. So Peter, you're unmuted. Are you not? Can you speak up? Or are you one of these people saying can't unmute? Hang on a second. All right. Okay, Peter, there you go. Okay. All right, Peter, you're on.
Boy, that was difficult.
Sorry.
That's all right. How are you?
Fine. How are you? Thank you for being here.
I'm doing great. Who's on this election committee, by the way?
Scott, all in total is 3 people, isn't it?
That is correct.
And so we have Barry Weiss, right?
Barry, Peter, and
Rudy Melendez.
If they agree to continue on, I think
Yeah.
the in-person meetings may cause that to be a problem, but we shall see.
Yeah, most likely if the meetings are in person, I won't have the time to do this, but I'll make an attempt. Okay. Anyway, if you can see my little picture under that I made, that took me about 10 minutes right before the meeting. So I don't know what it is you guys want to do for a flyer or for any kind of election outreach, but I'm happy. I'm not a graphic guy at all. I just play one on TV while I'm doing my sound mixing. So if you need help with making any kind of flyer, I'm happy to help.
Well, that's great, Peter. Tomorrow I'm picking up from Angie Arameo, who's with the Empower LA. She's Director of Awareness and Engagement, and she's giving us 500 free postcards that I thought I could use at the farmers market. And they're online, and I'm supposed to be also receiving a high quality JPEG from her. So we have that, but that's a generic one that's for the whole city. So I think it would be great if you would could do something in terms of a flyer. It was decided at the last board meeting that there would not be a mailer sent out because of the expense and the poor return. But as we're going to talk about later in the meeting about the farmers market, I'd love to have some collateral and then encourage people to take it where they can, their favorite coffee shop, their kids' school. So in answer to your question or your offer, I know you did a splendid job at it. So I would welcome that.
Okay, well, if I could get some input from folks as a direction, I can try to cobble something together.
Now, do you mean, so we kind of need 2 things, I think. We need one thing to engage people to want to run, and then for people to actually vote. So I don't know if we're actually looking at 2 pieces of collateral, because at some point, hopefully we'll have names to put on that of people who are running for offices. So are you thinking of doing 2 different flyers or 2 different graphics?
I was just throwing my hat in the ring. If you want 2, if you want 3, I mean,
Okay.
you need bodies. So perfect is the enemy of good enough. And if you don't have the bodies to do something.
Yep.
So
I agree with you.
I'm a body and I can poke around Photoshop, and I'm willing to help out. So
Okay, I
Thank
appreciate that. So the information that is on the website now about the election, that's where it is. That's the only outreach we have right now is on our Studio City Neighborhood Council website. That's ours. The city has their own. So the sooner we get something done, the faster we can hand that out. And on another, after public comment, we're going to talk about the farmers market. So maybe we can talk about the flyer again when we talk about the farmers market and how to utilize it. Does anybody else have anything to say about what Peter's offer is? Go ahead, Barry.
I was just going to say, and I know Peter knows this because he was just, I think, just playing around, but remember Universal Studios is not in Studio City and the CBS Studio Center no longer exists, but I'm sure, like I said, he was just playing around. Thanks.
Yep.
Yep. I like the graphic that I saw that you did, the simple graphic you did when we were talking about doing a mailer, Peter, as well, just for the cost of printing things. But I mean, the montage is really pretty and very eye-catching, I think. So
The reason I went the other direction is because it seems like over time people have ignored the design that was made, the logo and the font that was made by Brian Carroll to replace the previous Studio City Neighborhood Council look.
Right.
And I just think for branding, whether you like it or not, it's what we have and it should be used.
Agreed.
So people connect the dots. So that's why I went in that direction.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think, yeah, branding is so important, and it's a nice, clean look and easy to use. So I agree with you with that. So, okay, well, thank you for your offer, and we'll address that again further down the agenda. Okay.
Sure.
All right. So,
I think caller user 1 had his hand up and then it went down. Is your hand? Do you want to put your hand back up, caller user number 1?
I'll flick you to. There you are. I've unmuted you. You have to unmute yourself now, caller user 1. You have to unmute yourself.
We're still on number 3, correct?
That is correct.
Hello?
Correct.
Okay. I think this is very good what you guys are doing. It's not like Van Nuys, in which they are still figuring out if they should have an election. And last year in Van Nuys, they only spent, I think it was $23, or 2 years ago, $23 on their last election. And they thought that was a success. So I appreciate that you're giving a great attempt, and be very careful of done on when they give you stuff. That's very, very problematic. Thank you.
Terry, you're muted.
There I am. Kevin Lyon, go ahead, and you're unmuted now. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yes. Yes. This is what I look like when I'm not smoking crack and I'm not on the council floor. That's right. It's me, Kevin Lyon.
You mean De Leon?
Yes. Yes. That's right. Yes. And I'm here to tell you, you're not going to boot me out of my seat. I'm going to stay on the council no matter what you want. Now, tomorrow at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time at the federal courthouse, my good friend, what's his name?
Mark Ridley, no name.
Mark Ridley, no name. Well, that's not his name. Mark Ridley Thomas is his name, yes. We call him Stimpy. He'll be going into the federal courthouse tomorrow to begin his trial. His trial in the United States of America versus Mark Ridley Thomas. Now, do you think you're going to do that to me? Roar, never. Roar. I'll be darn sure I will rat everybody out at City Hall. I'll rat everybody out with my secrets. You will not get me. And I traveled a long way today. And where is the chair of this committee, Brendan Marino? Where is he at? I want to speak to him. I want to see what he's doing with outreach. I might have a job for him.
Really?
Yes. Yes. The next time when, the heat is off, I'll be back in the bathroom on the 4th floor. I'll need somebody to carry the cash in those liquor bottle boxes. We'll be getting back to normal real soon. I hope so. Anyway, you can't stop City Hall and you can't stop me. And I am going to run for re-election, despite what everybody says. And I'll be on the council floor tomorrow so I can pick up my $240,000.
Thank you. Does anybody else have a comment on item number 3 before we move to number 4?
Sure, I'll jump in real quick. So the good thing about the flyers from Dunn is they're free. The bad thing is they're generic and they're pretty basic, but we're going to get 500. When you do speak to the person giving it to you, ask her where we get those generic, the generic artwork that I see all the other, or some of the other neighborhood councils using for their, the faceless people who are all participating in the election, where all that comes from. And then we can give the ad hoc election committee sort of direction on what they could do to improve the done material. But at least we have a pretty good supply to sort of get started. Also, as far as the ad hoc goes, one of the things we're going to try to get them to be responsible for is our physical location where people vote. I mean, the applying for office is one thing. The voting is a bit more complicated because for the neighborhood council, after the candidates are certified, that information is based on the seat, the people who are running, and how many votes you are allowed to cast for each category. So that's going to be a bit more of a complicated flyer. And I can tell you from last election, most of the people had really it was not very intuitive on how to vote and how many votes you can cast in each category. And especially because each category, we get into that further down the road, but we can get the ad hoc more involved once we have a direction for them. And lastly, we still don't even have our polling place locked up. The city clerk gave us the price for Walter Reed, and they're looking at the price for the library now, which is our second choice. So we don't even have the physical polling place locked in because of the cost. Walter Reed wants to charge about $600. So did you want to show the flyer from Dunn, or do you want to do that in a different item because we're going to move on? Or did you want to?
If you've got it there, Scott.
I can hold it up, but I'm on blur.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So no, then no.
Okay.
All right.
Very good. Sorry
okay.
for rambling.
No, that's okay. All right. If there's no more comments on item number 3, we'll move to item number 4. And this is public comments on non-agenda items within this committee's jurisdiction. And I'm going to give everybody 2 minutes and be very strict about that. So Mr. Lyon had his hand up first, so we'll start with you and go ahead and unmute yourself. Here you are. You should be able to unmute yourself now.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm here. I had to take a hit. Let me just. Now I feel better. Yes. So, what's the problem with getting $600? $600 to vote? I don't understand the problem. I make $240,000 plus a free car and a thing, and I don't even sit on the council floor. My chair automatically votes yes. How come you can't come up with $600? Isn't it a shame? If you were in CD 14, I would go into my little till of money there. How much money do I have in my office holder account?
No, about 2 million.
Yeah, I'd give you the $600. But unfortunately, you're not in my district. Isn't that a shame? Grr. So, does your vote matter? No, no, it doesn't matter. Voting doesn't matter. What matters is money and how much of it you can put in the pockets of everybody here in Spring Street. That's what gets things done. And don't worry, no matter what happens with the FBI, whatever happens with that phony meeting today about developers not being able to be criminals, we will continue to build and build bigger and bigger and higher and higher and higher buildings on smaller and smaller pieces of land so that we can give Wall Street the big boost in their bottom line. And then they can raise the rent so that the buildings remain mostly vacant. You know why? You know why, Scott?
No, tell them what.
Thank you for your comment, caller. That's your time. So now, caller, user number 1, you can unmute yourself. Is that not working? Okay, there you are. We can see you're unmuted, caller user number 1, but
Okay, this is Beltran. I'm looking for a job. Do you have a job for me? I need you guys to write me a recommendation letter because I was such a good person to you. This is your good friend, Raquel Beltran. I need a job. Can you help me? Can you outreach to have me put on your council so I can put that on my resume? Please? Can you do some outreach? I'll give you some outreach if you do some outreach for me. I'm an influencer. You want to outreach me? Please, you can, anytime. We can do it in front of the studios, in an alley, wherever you want to do some outreach. I need a job. I need the money. I need Yelp reviews. Can you do that for me? By accident, because of a medical injury, I had to stop working for the city of Los Angeles. They said I was being a cunt, but you know what? I was just doing my job, so I don't have a job. Can you please give me some Yelp reviews and outreach me? I like to outreach some of that Lion. Lion, can you outreach me? I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Studio City. You guys have been the best with the homeless criminals and everything. So give me 5 Yelp review, and Lion, I could outreach as much reaching you need out at a cheap price. Thank you.
thank you, caller. Barry Johnson, you can unmute yourself. Great.
All I was going to say is that for 20 years, our election place for voting has been Walter Reed's auditorium foyer, and I just can't imagine doing it at the library. Walter Reed has adequate parking, the library does not, so keep that in mind. Thanks.
Okay, all right. There's nobody else for public comments on non-agenda items, so we'll move to number 5. This is about the website. Item number 5 is discussion of SCNC website and social media content management and updates. So I talked with Scott about this, and an idea that I thought would be a good one would be to link our Facebook with the Instagram with whatever social media we have. So when you post on Facebook, it goes to your Twitter account, your Instagram account, and your Facebook account. And so I spoke with Ren about this, and she's more savvy than I am, and has offered to help me. Thank you very much, Ren. And so the idea is that we'll do more postings more frequently about community events. And I would be interested to hear what you think about trying as much as possible to loop the schools in. When you reach out to families, you get a lot of people in a household. So I don't know if it's worth sending a monthly calendar to the different schools to let them know that the neighborhood council meetings are taking place. But my main thought was, how do we boost awareness of the neighborhood council, of entities that already exist? And I don't know what limits we have there about who to reach out to. Maybe, I don't know, Scott, if you have guidance on that or not. But I mean, if we reach out to schools, do we have to also reach out to churches or, I mean, is there any rules about that?
No, not for outreach. Do you want to share screen our website so you can just go through the screen clicks of what's on there right now as far as the election?
Yes. Could you help me with that?
I'm not there.
You're not on, you're not
No,
there.
I can't control yours. I could screen share it, or Ren, do you want?
Yeah, screen share it.
The host has spotlighted my video for everyone. No, you don't want to do that.
Uh-oh.
You're getting,
Here we are.
Turn my
That's what
you're
camera.
getting your close-up,
That's
Scott.
how that was it. Okay.
Undo that, and I'll turn my camera back.
Okay, I did.
That was very upsetting.
I did.
At least you're on blur.
Oh, it's still highlighting me.
It says gallery.
There we go. Okay. Did you or Ren want to share? Or I could do it. I can show you the website since.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, just because I was working earlier today, and I think I might be showing you all my day's work for my job, so.
Okay. Are you seeing that?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so this is what you see when you go to our website, and if you scroll down a little bit, here's the current news. So this is the flyer from Dunn. Below that, there's a catalytic converter event happening this Saturday. I suggest you sign up for it. So also at the very top, there's this tab, SCNC 2023 election. So if you click that,
Yeah, this is what we've got so far, and this has been up for a week now, so we're, on it.
This is the thing Peter did, right?
Yeah, we made just a couple changes. Anyone who has Photoshop, I can give them the file, and then you have all the elements separate, and you go in there and change all these things. They're all separate elements. So anyone who wants to play around with that. And then we have all these links down here. So here is the link to empower, be a candidate. All these are active links. And then the key dates are below that. And then there's a PDF for the seats that are available. This is pretty much just the page from our bylaws. I'll go through this quickly. Everyone can just go to this on their own. And then this is the flyer. This is the front of the flyer from Dunn. So you can see it's very generic, and you can comment on the creativity of it, and I'm sure you have ideas on how to improve it. There is a backside to it, but I didn't put that on our website because all it says is run or vote in your neighborhood council election, and there's a QR code that takes you to the Empower LA website. So I would imagine if we did it, we would direct people to our website where they can then link to all the other websites. But that's up for all of you to decide. So that's what we have there. And then if you wanted to go to public comment and then go back and brainstorm or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, well, my only point is that all the information is on the website. It's really user friendly. All the links are there if somebody's interested. The whole job is to get people to go to the website to look and just let people know there's an election going on, but it is already there. Barry, what did you want to say? Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, thank you, Scott, for all you do on keeping that website going. And for Terry, I was going to mention that Abby has all the contacts for both public and private schools in Studio City, and a few that are sort of surrounding, like since we don't have a public high school, like North Hollywood High.
Right.
So you might want to contact her for those
Thank you.
email addresses. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Great. Go ahead, Julie.
Yeah, just to add to that, what Barry was saying, those schools do a newsletter to all the families. So yeah, if you can just get on get in contact with that person, they can put you like in the body of that email.
Yeah, and I was thinking that of asking the different schools about, the spokes of their wheel beyond I mean, whether it's a soccer league or a chess club league or something, but asking them to then disseminate it, not just at once on their website, but I'm going to ask them how many other openings do you have to send information out, because it's just about creating the awareness. So, okay, thank you. That is a very good idea. Alrighty, is there anybody else who wanted to discuss anything else about the social media? Like as Barry said, Scott cleaned up a lot of the stuff that had been out there for a while, and so now it's all very current. And so I see our whole job is just sending people to the website, because that's how they have to sign up. Okay, so now we'll take public comment. I'm going to give everybody 1 minute for this, and we'll start. Hang on a second, Mr. Lyon, just 1 second. And you can go ahead.
Yes, I don't appreciate that you, Scott, do not let me mute and unmute using my large paw, my microphone. I don't think it's good. Brandon used to do that with all the other puppets, but you discriminate against me because I'm a Latino drug user. That's not right. But her name is not Beltran. It's Mrs. Grooms. What do you mean? Your leader is not named Beltran. Her name is Mrs. Grooms of Carson, California. Holy shit. Don't tell anybody. Only Scott is to know that. If it ever got out that the leader of 99 MCs doesn't even live in the city.
Thank you, caller. That's your time. Call-in user number 1, you can unmute, please. Okay, I think we lost caller number 1 there. All right. Okay, so if that's all, public comment is, oh, Julie, go ahead.
I just want to tell you that I found one of the Walter Reed newsletters. For some reason, I'm still on them. So I forwarded it to you. And at the bottom of it, it's got the contact email.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. I know we have caller number 1 is back. I think that we might have accidentally hung up. Okay. So go ahead, caller number 1. You're unmuted.
Oh, this is Beltran. Thank you very much. You very, very good voice, lady. So, how dare this lion follow me? I love the city of Los Angeles. I will outreach anywhere I need to outreach to make money because I am unemployed. I am so nice to people. I'll speak to you offline, online, reline, beeline, can line. I will do whatever it takes. I like lions. Roar here, roar there, but I'll roar everywhere. I need a job. I need my money. And as to Carson, that was where I held my parole. So, Mr. Lyon, do you need some outreach tonight? I'm available. Just call me at 1-900. Call me. Muchas gracias.
Okay, thank you for your comment. And with that close. Oh, Peter or Scott, go ahead.
So as far as the website goes, Terry, Julie, Ren, Ira, whoever's on this committee, whoever wants keys to the website to improve upon what I did or add to it, just talk to me offline. The website interface is not very intuitive, but with just a quick lesson, I can show you how to do it. And then you can look at what you do and then delete it if you don't like the results. So I am not keeping the website just for me. Same thing for Facebook. I'm not posting on Facebook for the neighborhood council. However, you do need to have a personal Facebook account in order to be an administrator or an editor of the Studio City Neighborhood Council Facebook. So Terry, whoever you want to assign to be the Facebook person, I can then give them privileges through the Facebook to Facebook, and that's how it works.
Yeah, I spoke to Ren about that because she does have Facebook and I don't. And I've given her the credentials and
Great.
all that. So that's something I wanted to discuss this at this meeting, make sure everybody was on board with that, about doing all 3 platforms and connecting them. And as soon as we, it seemed to be that everybody was copacetic with that, then Ren and I will get together and move forward with doing that. Go ahead and linking everything together.
Okay, great.
All right. So if there's no other comments on number 5, we'll close that and move to number 6, which is discussion of SCNC election outreach, including flyers and events. We discussed the flyers already with Peter. And so the events, the one event that we have that's free and open to us is the farmers market. And I know everybody loves the farmers market. I do. And I just want to say, I'm happy to do this, and I'll welcome anybody who wants to come. And I know some people who are board members need a certain number of hours or a certain number of events to attend. So, but I find that people, I don't like to mandate anything. So since it's my idea to go to the farmers market, I am happy to be there. And I was going to talk to Barry about getting whatever banner, and I can keep that with me. And I've asked Ira, and he was kind enough to outreach to Esther at Farmers Market, and we have given her some dates. And Ira, you haven't heard back from her as of today, correct? I mean, about the actual dates. I know she got right back to you about the opportunity.
No, I haven't, and I just sent her another email as well, but I have not heard back yet.
Yeah. So we asked for 2 dates in March, 2 in April, 2 in May, and 2 in June. And the one in June that's the most important is the 18th, which is the Sunday before the actual election. And we're hoping that there won't be a conflict with anything, and we can actually have those dates. And in order to get people to come over to the table, I was talking to Department of Sanitation today and about getting some of those buckets that they were talking about, because they have the new recycling program. And so anytime you have any kind of a swag or something to draw people over. So I'm going to continue to outreach to the different departments about what they might have in terms of something that would interest people. Maybe I am just a recycling nerd. I don't know, but I find the whole recycling thing always a little bit complicated and confusing. So I had a long conversation today with someone at Department of Sanitation about the little triangles on the bottom of the thing, the bottles that say one, and glass things that say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And like, for instance, I don't know if this has kept anyone else up at night, but when you have like a spray bottle, I've always wondered, do you have to take off the spray part, which has some little metal pieces, and just give the bottle, or can you do the whole thing? And I have the answer to that question. And should you come to the farmers market, I will share it with you. But my idea is to, at each farmers market, to have something that's city connected that will draw people to the booth in terms of swag or information, some sort of a sign that will draw them over. Do you understand the triangles? I'll make up the signs myself, but that's my idea for farmers market. And then to have out the flyers that Peter is going to make, and whatever other collateral we have to get people interested. I think just being there consistently, and if they keep seeing Studio City neighborhood elections coming up, 60-day count, 45-day count, 35-day count, I think it'll just raise the awareness in a way that we haven't had as consistently there. Now, there's certainly other venues to outreach to, and if somebody would like to chime in about other ideas other than the farmers market, Barry, would you like to give a suggestion?
Yeah, I was only going to say that I understand Nythia's office has plenty of the buckets. So you might, if you don't have any luck with sanitation, try Emma in her office.
Yeah, I sent them an email, but I didn't know I just sent it to contact CD4. So thank you. Chip, go ahead. Oh, there, I unmuted you.
There we go. Hey there. Thanks very much for all you guys have done. In terms of other potential venues, Beaman Park often gets a lot of folks. And the other place that I've seen, I think it was maybe Adam a couple of years ago, was at the parking lot below the Betty Deering Trail off Fryman. Because there's a pretty good flow of people that go there. I do not know the percentage of those folks that drive in that are Studio City residents any more than I know Beaman, but I know the Beaman gets a bunch. So depending upon how that goes, yes, you did mention farmers market, but I also voted against mailers, so I feel I owe you some hours. So I'm happy to do the farmers market or whatever else. I mean, I'm also wondering if we could potentially go over to Sportsman's Landing. Can we go to a retail venue?
I don't know about that, Scott. Do you know? I don't know how, how many willing people you'll get who want to be on the property, but there might be some resistance there. But is it okay to?
I'm pretty sure we need permission.
Well,
Yeah, maybe soliciting.
but permission from the city or permission from the
From the private property, because when we were giving out stuff for outreach before I was on the board, we were giving out Studio City branded masks, and we gave those out at in front of some of the Ralphs, and we had to get written permission from the store managers to be on their property to give the stuff out, not from the city, but from Ralph's. Also, by the way, since we're going to be at the farmers market, Julie has a great flyer that's like 90% there for homeless services. And if that gets to 100%, which it will before the farmers market, that's also another great attention grabber. If you say the word homeless, you're going to get a flock of people coming to our table, and we will lure them in with that flyer and then switch and give them the flyer for the election.
So that's a great idea.
Yeah, put it in the bucket if we're giving out buckets.
No, that's a great idea, because that is what, like I say, if every time we're there, we have a 36 by 24 foam core that says something, answers to our homeless question or something, that will draw people over way more than Studio City neighborhood elections. So that's the idea. Yes, Julie. So and that I'll speak to all the different chairs of all the different committees to give me an idea of what would you like highlighted at a farmer's market, and we can pump that out. I think it's a great idea, Scott. Thank you.
That if you have the content worked out, I would send it, of course, we'll give Peter a shot at it. I'm volunteering him to take a look at that too, to make something. Or if you have a graphic that you already like, or just use the regular old Studio City color and logo, and just, tout the homelessness committee and the efforts you've put in to get the word out. So I think that's a great idea. And I'll be there for farmers market too. So we just got to get the proper banner that we hang on the canopy, and we'll be set.
Yeah.
And we'll bring it up, by the way, at the board. I'll give you a slot update from outreach chair, and you can mention that that's coming up, and for the board to contact you to volunteer to man the booth.
Okay, that's great. Barry, go ahead.
Yeah, you may not need permission at any place, because the California Supreme Court has said that shopping centers and malls are the equivalent of Main Street USA in years gone by. And in fact, for who I work for, CBS, they've even given us a letter from our attorney that's embossed in plastic, that if anyone tries to throw me out of a mall or a shopping center, I show them that, and it actually tells them why I can be there, because I am there in what is the equivalent of Main Street USA. And that's also why, like at Ralph's, you'll see signs that say, anybody here doesn't represent us, because see, they can't actually throw them off the property. So while it would be nice for somebody like Sportsman's to just say, yeah, you can do it, but if they say no, they can't stop you. The one thing you can't do is like bring furniture or block people. You can't be an obstruction. But you know, I've done this repeatedly, and when they try to throw me off, I show them that, and I say, how is it any different with a camera on a phone than it is in the camera I'm carrying? I'm no more of a, you know, obstruction. So if you are handing something else out, you just cannot be in people's way.
Yeah, because go ahead, sorry, go ahead.
And the only other thing I was going to say, if you are at Fryman, I would say ask them first, are you a resident of Studio City? Then you know, don't bother giving a card out to somebody who isn't.
Mhm.
You know, first check that. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, because all the supermarkets have that sign up that says, you know, we're not responsible for solicitors on our property and stuff like that. So, okay, so, all right. I'll go to public comment on this. I'm going to give everybody 1 minute, and I see we have call-in user number 1. If you would like to go ahead and unmute yourself, go ahead.
Thank you very much. The last comment is very troublesome. First of all, I'm very familiar of the Court of Appeal decisions, California and federal. I think you've misapplied it. I would like you to provide me the citation. You're dealing with ingress and egress and also the First Amendment. So I really would appreciate you providing that issue. Second issue, it also dealt with an ADA, believe it or not. So if you're going to say the Supreme Court says something, please provide a citation. It's very, very disconcerting when someone is quoting without a citation. I always point my citation. You have a lot of attorneys that are maybe on this call. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. And now, Kevin Lyon, go ahead and unmute and you can start.
How many hits have you had? Oh, about 3. Oh, I feel real good. Now I gotta get me a prostitute. Oh, I know a lot about going into shopping centers. Yes, you need permission or they'll ask you to leave. Oh, really? Yeah, so let me demonstrate. Let's say that you're in my shopping center and I say, would you please leave? And then what do you say? I say, fuck you, I'm gonna put out my First Amendment. That's right. Then I take out my pepper spray and I spray it in your face. And I call the police and they come and beat you down and I put it on YouTube and I collect ad revenue. That's what I like to do for my part-time hobby. So remember, don't go onto private property. Stay on the sidewalk.
That's your time. Thank you for your comment. Okay, if there's no other public comment, then I'll close item number 6. We'll move to item number 7, which is announcements by government representatives. I wasn't contacted by any, and I don't see any on the call here. So I think we can move on to number 8. And that's comments from committee members on items not on the agenda. If anybody would like to make a comment or has a suggestion, go ahead. Okie doke. I don't see any hands. Everybody can unmute themselves. So I will close number 8. And that moves us to number 9, which is adjournment. So I move that we adjourn. And if I don't have any objections to that, then we will adjourn at 7:45 p.m. And I thank you all for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Great
Terry.
meeting. Very
Thank you.
good.
Okay. Good night, everyone.